Good day, you can call me Teacher Nor, and for today's lesson, we will discuss about the elements of narrative text. Now, who among you here loves to read? Well, that's great. Now, I want you to read the story titled Most Honest Boy, and I have some questions after for you to answer. For months and months, Bruce had been longing for a new bicycle. He hated the way his old one clattered and rattled as he rode down the street. Someday he told himself he would have a new one like some of the other boys at school. But when would he get enough money? He had been to all the bicycle shops in town, but the cheapest bike he had seen cost more than $100. $100? It would take ages and ages to earn that much. Then one winter's morning, he rode into town on an errand for his mother. It was early and there was snow on the ground, so he rode slowly and carefully to avoid skidding on the slippery road. As he drew near the shop his mother wanted him to go to, he saw a small dark object lying in the snow. It looked like a wallet, so he jumped off his bicycle and picked it up. It was a wallet. He opened it and his eyes grew big with wonder. It was full of money. He began to count it: $5, $10, $20, all the way to 100. $100. It was exactly what he had been wishing for. Now he could get his new bicycle. Or could he? A little voice inside him said, "No, this belongs to somebody who may be very sad at losing it. You should take it to the police station at once." So that's where Bruce went. He was taken to see the inspector of police, who said he was a good boy to turn in a wallet with so much money in it. Then the inspector looked carefully through the wallet and came across a photograph of a young man in a sailor's uniform, with a name on the back of it. "Now I think we can trace the owner," he said. "Anyway, we'll try." Bruce left and went back home. He felt a little sad, and so much money had come and gone so quickly, but he was also happy that he had done the right thing and turned the wallet over to the police. But that wasn't the end of it. Next day, the police telephoned to say that they had found the owner. He was a young sailor just back from overseas duty. He had had trouble with an old car he was driving and had crawled underneath it to see what was the matter. That was when the wallet had fallen out of his pocket. He was very thankful to get it back. Bruce was glad too. He told himself that he would have hated to buy a bicycle with money that belonged to a sailor home on leave. That would have been awful. How happy he was that he had obeyed his conscience. A week or two later, Bruce received an invitation to dine at the local Rotary Club. He couldn't believe his eyes. "There must be some mistake, Mom," he said. "They must have the names mixed up. It must be for Dad. Why would all those grown-ups want a boy to come and eat with them?" "I don't think there has been a mistake," said Mother. "You had better plan to go." What Bruce didn't know was that the inspector of police had told a businessman about Bruce and the wallet, and that businessman had told another businessman, and he had told another, and so on. Then they had all put their heads together and decided that Bruce should be publicly honored for the good deed he had done. So they gave him a wonderful dinner and $10 notes besides. And every newspaper carried the headline "Most Honest Boy in Town." So after reading the story, who is the main character? Well, that's great. It's Bruce. Then where the story takes place? Hmm? Okay, in the town. Now what happened to Bruce after he returned the wallet? What lesson did you get from the story? I'm glad with your answer. A narrative text includes any type of writing. This is associated with a series of events, includes fiction in non-fiction. So this tells stories using imaginative language and expresses emotion, often through the use of images, symbols, and metaphors. So what is the difference between fiction to non-fiction? So, when I say fiction, this refers to plot, setting, characters which is created in the mind or imagination. So, fiction like a poem, novel, and short stories are included to this. On the other hand, non-fiction is refers to the factual based on real people and true event like memoirs, biograph, and news stories. Aside from this, a narrative text consists of elements.
Same.
This is the main idea or the underlying meaning which a character explores in a novel, short stories, in other literary work. So, simply to say, this is the subject of talk or the author's purpose.
Setting.
It is where the story takes place and also includes time frame.
Character.
In a story, a character can be a person, animals, being, creature, and even things used to perform the action and speak the dialogue. Character can be classified into two, the antagonist and the protagonist.
Plot.
Is the sequence of events where each affects the rest tone through the principle of cause and effect.
And plot consists of five types.
Exposition, the beginning of the story, and prepares the way of upcoming events to unfold, or what we call the introductory. The next type of the plot is the rising action. It is that point where the main problem or the conflict revealed. The protagonist will struggle to face the conflict, which could be internal or external. Tell us how the main characters deal with the problem. The middle or the climax. We all know that climax is the most exciting part of the story and initiates a turning point in the characters' lives. Next is following action. Occurs after the climax and reveals the details of the consequences, good or bad, that the protagonist deals with. It sets the stage for the resolution. Lastly, the resolution, the part where the outcome of the event and the fate of the protagonist and antagonist are revealed. So these essential elements keep the story running smoothly and allow the action to develop in a logical way that the teacher can follow. For activity, I want you to make a line plot based on the story of the most honest boy. You will be graded with these criteria. For introduction, thoughts, grammar, and neatness, the highest point will be 10 points, while the lowest score or the points is 2 points, in a total of 40 points.
Before we proceed to your assignment, I will divide you into four groups, and I will give you five copies of our story titled Behold Your King is Coming in each group.
Still on the same rubric are the criteria. For introduction, thoughts, grammar, and neatness, the highest score will be 10 points, while the lowest score is 2 points, in a total of 40 points.
And for your assignment, please be guided. Grading will be based on the same rubric. I want you to choose a story, it's either a fiction or non-fiction, and make a line plot.
Thank you everyone. See you next time. Goodbye.